Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for being with me here today. I am very, very excited about a room that I, quite frankly, Elliot, wasn't so excited about in the past.
Okay.
I like what you have done here, what you all have done, and we're going to talk to the designer of these Italian amplifiers, okay? He's going to give us a lot more information on these amplifiers. But I want to start out by saying that maybe over the last 2 years, I've heard Goebel speakers with CH Electronics and different combinations, audio research, Parasound at one point. And for the first time I hear them with Class A amplifiers. And this is by far the very best I've ever heard Goebel loudspeaker sound, period. Now, this is one man's opinion. Just remember that. And for me, there is far more synergistic qualities with these amplifiers than previous amplification that I have seen here. Okay? I never thought that Goebel can do what it's doing today. Like the things that I'm hearing today are things that I, quite frankly, I gotta be very blunt. I thought it was the speaker, but I realized I was wrong. I am hearing finally more life. The system is finally talking to me. Today, Elliot, I'm telling you, this is the best I've heard. So talk to us a little bit about what we have going on
So
here.
you're saying you like it?
I 100% like it. I 100% like what you've built.
Well, let me just talk a little bit.
So talk
First
about
of
what you
all,
have going on.
Shows, as I've tried to explain to you before, are really difficult things. For your viewers that don't know, for example, we get into this room yesterday, Saturday. We got in this room Thursday, and we didn't get all our equipment till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we had internet problems. So by the time we actually had sound in here, it's like 5 o'clock. So you really have 4 or 5 hours to work. And you're trying to, and the same thing with your viewers at home, it takes time to learn a room.
Yeah.
And it also helps to have professionals that know how to do this to do it. So I agree with you 100% that this is the best sound we've ever had at any audio show in the United States, hands down. Exponent is a very, very challenging room, and you know we've done this show 3 times. First year we didn't have any drapes. Last year we had drapes. We used different electronics, but I want to give a lot of credit from what you're hearing here today to a couple of people. Number one, Brandon from WADAX did the complete speaker setup, and he did an amazing job. Okay, and I want to thank Jonathan Halpern from Tone Audio for. I had heard these amplifiers in Munich and preamp, and we talked, and we kind of put together this triumvirate and put this together, and we're all really very proud of the result that we got. And I can't say any more than I think this is absolutely the best sound. I've been trying to get you to hear this, but 100%. Shows are kind of difficult, and I'm a very small company. I mean, very small, so I don't have a staff of 100 guys to help. And it was a pleasure that Brandon Lauer, could come this year because he started with WADAX earlier this year, right? July. Yeah, July. And
come and talk to us
Brandon,
a little bit about WADAX.
I know briefly. Brandon used to work for Audio Research. And he's a terrific setup guy, and it's nice to have help. And I'm not taking any credit for this. He did it all.
All right.
He did it all. You want to?
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So, WADAX, tell us your role with WADAX at this time.
Yeah, so I'm Global Sales and Marketing Director for WADAX. Started in July.
Okay, great. Okay, so I have heard WADAX multiple times.
Yes.
Okay, it is one of the it's actually probably the priciest digital front end we've ever seen. And I'm going to put you on blast right now, and I want to know, and if you could share that with my viewers that want to know this, okay? Any plans to have something more affordable from WADAX in the future? Is that at least something that's cooking in the kitchen?
Well, I can't let too much out of the bag, but let's just say that, the Atlantis reference is really what put WADAX kind of on the map, right? I mean, this has been our shining star. But there have been a lot of other products that existed prior to this, and there was a line called Atlantis, which has just been discontinued. So as you can imagine, that would leave space for some other imaginative products in the future.
I got a shelf ready in my room for a more affordable WADAX. I've been trying to, see what WADAX can do in my system, but the price point right now is just the only thing that's stopping me. Okay,
Understood.
But I understand that you came out with your biggest knockout punch when you released WADAX and you wanted to make a statement. Totally get it.
There's one more piece that comes for this. I didn't bring the optional power supply for the server, and the transport we can talk about. I've shown you pictures.
Right.
There will be an Atlantis reference transport. I guess they're going to start delivering. Yeah, at end of the year, beginning of next year. And then next spring, maybe there'll be some stuff that you'll be.
My audience is asking me, and I have made a huge effort today to walk the floor, go through several rooms to provide more price performance propositions.
Sure.
This is why I'm bringing you. I bring that to your attention. Is to
let's think practically, right? I mean, if we look at Atlantis reference, I mean, it is kind of the ultimate expression of what you can do in digital. And I'm not going to drag you through all the technologies that are in there, but it's simply this concept of pushing boundaries, right? And if we compare it to the car world, you look at Ferrari, right? I mean, they build something like La Ferrari, and it's $1 million plus car. And it's exactly the same thing. It's the ultimate expression of what they know, all the technologies that they have. But what do they do with that technology? They bring it into their other products.
True.
Forward,
True.
Right?
Yeah.
So this has allowed an expansion of digital capacities that nobody else in this industry has even come close to thinking about.
Right.
It's a completely different product.
It is, and it looks different. I must
different.
say. Something that has been highlighted many times on my channel as far as the design. It's a hit or miss. Some people love it, some people don't, but that goes for anything in life. Cars, you name it, houses, it doesn't matter, right? You can't please everybody.
Right.
100%.
No, it is. I mean, the people, it's the love it or hate it look, but it was inspired by F1 race cars.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the design of the front, that sort of oblong aesthetic, is like the steering wheel of an F1 car. And then the inlaid chrome pieces are like the paddles.
Right. If we had some of those red lights on it, it looks like an F1 car. I'll say this to your viewers.
Okay.
Before you spend a lot of money at the end of first quarter next year, make a phone call or check us out.
I want to talk about the amplifiers, if you don't mind.
Right, not at all.
So,
Thanks, Jay.
no problem. So who is the person that
well,
will...
Jonathan Halpern is the importer, and Silvio Delfino is the president, and he's from Riviera, if you want to bring him up. Okay, came all the way in from Italy for the show.
Italy.
And
Never been to your country. I would love to go to Italy.
His arms are tired.
Love Italian food. Love Italian food. So I know we don't have Italian food in America, but I would love to go to Italy and eat real food. So tell us more about this Riviera amplifier.
Go ahead.
What makes it so special? What's your design philosophy with these amplifiers?
Okay, it's not an easy stuff because our approach on the electronics is really different from anybody else. I mean, me and my partner, we are two partners in the company. We had, we had for a long time some problem in some way because I was the chief editor of the most important Hi-Fi magazine for 10 years.
Oh, really?
And he was working with me in the technical section, even if he was not the one that was testing the unit, but was analyzing the circuit. And one of our problems was to match the measurement with the listening section. And there was a mismatch almost every time.
Every time.
So Luca, that is the name of our engineer and partner, for a long time was doing research about this. And in the early 90s, we are a long-time friend, he called me and said, Silvio, I may have not a solution, but a new way to go. So I will try to do something more. So what happened was that he went to deeply study the human perception.
Okay.
So leave for some time the pure engineering and go to the medicine to understand how we listen, how our perception system works mechanically, psychoacoustic, and everything.
Okay.
So this was the starting point. And after 20 years of development,
wow,
he came out with this circuit.
Okay.
We was on the way to Munich show together in the car, and we decided in 600 kilometer trip to do everything together. So the difference is that when you start measuring an amplifier, is absolutely fundamental to use measurement. Because measurement
measurements?
Yes, because measurement tell you what are you doing, if you are doing well, if you are on the wrong way. So it's the most important part of an amplifier. except that if you don't know how human perception works, you don't know how to read the measurement.
Okay.
Because you don't know what is important, what is less important. You cannot correlate measurement one to the other. At the end of the story, if you don't know that, you have numbers that are objective, but really meaningless. Because you cannot correlate with human perception.
So you believe in measurements. That's one thing that you have to have.
Absolutely.
Okay, now I will throw a question at you that I'm sure my viewers are asking. Now, these are tube amplifiers or solid state?
No.
Pure solid state?
No, it is hybrid.
Hybrid?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the design to make human connected amplifier for Luca was to make a circuit that should be done in the way to be human, can't remember now, but human related.
Right, okay.
So the design is hybrid because we want to control when happened the distortion to be exactly same of the one created by the cochlea. So it must be hybrid with using tube, MOSFET, and transistor, because each one of that have a different kind of harmonic distortion, and if you mix them in properly, you reach the same distortion of your inner ear.
What's the power output?
100.
100 watts, pure Class A.
It's pure Class A because we do not use at all feedback. So you need a very linear system.
Into 8 ohms?
It must be Class A.
100 watts into 8 ohms or 4 ohms?
8 ohms.
8 ohms. Does it double down to?
Double down to 2.
To 2. Great. Okay, so characteristics that I'm hearing, as I mentioned earlier, is the emotion of the system. And the only variable that I see that's any different that is significant is the amp and the preamplifier. I'm a sucker for Class A. I mean, you know, Boulder, now Griffin, and I've had many other Class A amplifiers in the past. And I've always felt that Class A really brings this emotion, liquidity to the music that Class AB sometimes misses. Now, I'm not going to say there are no Class AB amplifiers that don't check my boxes. For instance, I like Constellation Audio. I've always said that. It's Class AB. But in this case, with Class A, the system is glowing and it continues to really inspire me to listen to more music, okay? I don't have all the time in the world to listen to every single system for an hour and a half to 2 hours, but the system really is calling my name. I'm really impressed with what you have built here. I love the amplifiers. How much are they?
Around
82,000 for the amplifiers, for the monos, for the pair. And the preamplifier, which will be shown, you guys are seeing it right now. How much is the preamplifier? 47,000. Okay. And the preamplifier, does it have any tubes in it or no?
It's just tube.
Just tubes?
Yes, because when we work on the voltage stage, tubes is the best you can do. Is a transformer couple input and output. Also, the power amps have a transformer input. So everything is
fully balanced.
Not at all.
No, really?
No, because in our experience, for what we want, you cannot go balance.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
It must be unbalanced.
Unbalanced.
And also the circuit is, I don't know how to explain it in English, really.
Some say unbalanced has more naturalness to it. Some say, I've seen, for instance, some tube gear that is unbalanced for a reason. They say unbalanced stays truer to...
Yes, but we cannot speak of this amplifier only looking at one aspect, because as I told you, is the complete design together that reach what you want to reach. So any solution is not taken because we think is better, but only because it was the only solution we can use to arrive where we want to arrive. So it was a kind of reverse engineering. How we should do, where we have to go, how we can do it. So, of course, in electronic, nobody discovered the hot water. Everything is available, everything is there. It's the way you put everything together that is different.
Well, you've done a great thing, let me tell you. A magnificent job with these two components are, you know, if you haven't checked them out, Riviera, what's the website? If you can tell my viewers.
Riviera.com.
The Riviera.coms, okay? Amazing stuff. Check them out on the web, on my on the internet. Elliot, I want to ask you something. Come back. Sure. Let me ask you this: are you going to continue to display with Riviera?
Well, we're discussing how to make that work. Yes.
Okay, it's important for me. Again,
to answer your question is, I hope that we can do that in the future.
Partnership.
Look, audio, which you and I have had a lot of long discussions.
Sure.
We spend a lot of time on the phone.
Yeah.
Audio is like being a great chef. Okay,
Yep.
you got to find things that work together, and you have to make them work. If we were to take these speakers, I'm being honest with you, take these speakers and move them an inch or an inch and a half or whatever, it changes everything.
Yeah, it does.
Again, Brandon did an amazing job on the setup. I'll take a little credit for being the ringmaster and putting this all together.
Okay.
But I think finally, after 3 years in this room, we figured out how to get the most out of it. And I'll say this to all your viewers, okay? If you're not happy with the sound before you start buying stuff, try working with where your placement of your gear is. And if you're not comfortable doing it, find somebody that can do it for you.
I echo that for sure. Absolutely, no doubt. Well, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Appreciate all this, what you've done here, all the work, of course, which goes unnoticed oftentimes, all the logistics, the lifting, the setup, long hours, fine-tuning, and hopefully you have found happiness here with what you are displaying, because I did. I love what I've heard. One of the best rooms at the show, no doubt. Okay, please continue to subscribe. I will talk to you soon. Take care.